Hello, welcome to day 56 of the series, which means we are now only 5 days away from running 100 miles in Leadville, Colorado. Today is goal setting day, so I spent the weekend going through some notes, going through aid stations, going through pacing strategies, fueling strategies, gear, the whole 9 yards, trying to pinpoint where I can make time up and where I can push the pace a little bit and where I need to back off and really kind of conserve energy. And I've come to a number, so I'll flip this camera around and we'll walk through it. Okay, so this is one of the notes, one of the sheets that I've made that kind of documents where things are located on the map here in plan view, and then also the section cut of the elevation profile down here. I'll do my best to try to look back and forth and keep my mouse and all the stuff on the screen here for you. So we'll start at the top corner. We have locations. So these are the known aid stations. The ones that are in blue on the side are locations where I'll have 1 or 2 bodies on the way back, and the red ones are for the entire crew. So my entire 5-person crew, plus any videographers or whatever will be there. And then these other ones here are locations where 1 and or 2 people might be. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 places. Obviously it's an out and back, so not 12 unique locations, but 12 places where I can stop and get aid at some capacity or some point in some capacity. Let's go to this section. This is the timing section. So these are ballpark numbers of what I think is sustainable and doable for my ability going to each section. So again, there's a corresponding distance like 10 miles, 20.5, 26, etc. that go to all these locations. And I've put them down here as their own unique little like bullet point. So an hour and 40 minutes to Carter, 6 hours and 15 minutes to Twin Lake. And then you add a bunch of these aid station numbers in for kind of the maximum time I want to be at an aid station, depending on how I'm feeling. I think these outward bound ones will probably be reduced. Like I dose about 10 minutes outward bound, but that's kind of the maximum that I want to do. And as we get down here, so 6:15 to Twin Lakes, 9:30 to Winfield, so 3.5 hours to get to Winfield, and then an additional 3.5 hours to get back to Twin Lakes. And then we're kind of going on outward bound here at 16 hours, the dam at 17, mile 99 at 20 hours, plus again, all of these aid station times comes to a final total of 21:15. Now, is this all achievable? I don't know. It's all kind of just, I haven't ran this distance in forever, so I don't know mechanically what I'm going to be able to do when I break down, but I've kind of put out these times so in my head when I get to different checkpoints I can check in with my pre-existing plan and see where I line up. I've also added some notes here on different sections of whole crew being there, changing socks and shoes and cleaning feet, what I need to grab for vest wise, restock fuel, etc. I have a separate Word document where I've outlined sort of how much fuel I want to be taking in, and it's up to my kind of crew to get that all set up for me, and I can just kind of grab and go. Let's talk shoes. So shoes wise, obviously this is the start point, this green play button, that's the start point. You come up and around, a steady downhill, then a little bit of flat, then a steady uphill, all the way around. Hopefully you can see my cursor. First aid station's over here, the far left of the screen, that's 10 miles in. Down at this red dot at the bottom, that's outward bound, that's 26 miles in. That entire section from the start to outward bound, I'm going to be using I'm going to be using road shoes. So a carbon plated road shoe, Saucony Endorphin Pro 4s that feel really good on my feet. I've never had any issues with arch, Achilles, foot pain ever wearing those shoes. Most of this section's all this dark section here where my cursor is, that's all road. And then all of the other stuff that's kind of dashed line with brown and white is like a unpaved road, but a lot of it's quite runnable. Like for example, this whole north section up here is mostly fire road. This turquoise lake section on the north side It's very runnable. It's a kind of a little small roller coaster of bumps, gradual bumps up and down, some roots and rocks, but nothing too crazy. So that first 26 miles is going to be all road shoe. When I get to Outward Bound, again where my cursor is, I'm going to be switching to the Adidas Agravix Speed Ultra 2s, I think the name is. And I'm going to go from there all the way down to Twin Lakes in those shoes. At this location, I'm then changing shoes again. So the third pair of shoes, where I'll go from the Adidas shoes to a Brooks Ghost shoe, which is a little more stack height, a little more cushion, not as like forward propulsion is that a word? And it can help me get up and over this pass twice down to Winfield and back to Twin Lakes, feeling quite good. It's got a wider toe box, really good stability. I've used that same shoe for all of my training runs at Hope Pass this past training block, and it's very, very nice underfoot and feels quite good on the steeper ascents, steeper descents, and then on this backside down the very, very bottom here where we go to Winfield, and it's more of like a kind of just moderate profile. I mean, there's a bit of a climb here, but this is nothing compared to the Hope Pass traverse twice. So again, on the elevation profile to this line here, road shoe, trail shoe to the next one, my Adidas, still a trail shoe, but my Brooks to back to Twin Lakes. From Twin Lakes back to Outward Bound, I'm going to go back into the Adidas, and then from Outward Bound to the finish, back in my road shoe. So 3 shoes throughout the entire race, and I think that puts me in a good position to feel comfortable, get some variety underneath the foot, make sure I don't tax any one area too much if there's some discomfort that develops. And obviously, this is all kind of just like pre-race planning, right? I might pivot during the race depending on how I'm feeling, but ideally, at least Outward Bound towards Winfield and back to Twin Lakes, I'm going to keep the strategy the same and then make my adjustments after mile 64 when I get back to Twin Lakes. So in a nutshell, that's sort of what I'm looking at for the race. Let me turn us back around. So yeah, that's what I'm looking like for the race in terms of like preparation. I have a separate Google Drive that I just kind of mentioned previously that has all of my fueling strategy, my gear, when I want ice bandana, when I want my arm sleeves for cooling, if I need it for cooling, change of socks, first aid equipment and drop bags, or Voltaren or Tylenol, like those sort of things. I have all in a kind of Google Doc that my crew chief has access to. But yeah, scary goal there. 21 hours, 15 minutes is kind of what I'm ballparking on a good day. So I think when I establish my A goal, B goal, C goal, I'll probably end up doing sub 21 as my A goal, sub 22, sub 22:30 for my B goal, and then the C goal, fallback goal, is just getting that big buckle and finishing under 25 hours. But as long as my body holds up in some capacity, I think that it's quite achievable here to get sub 21 based on the current fitness I have, on past racers' experience from just like talking to them firsthand, but also just looking through their experience via YouTube or online posts, that sort of thing. I think it's quite, I don't know if it's quite achievable, but I think it's in the realm of possibility for me to go sub 21 on this course, and maybe even sub 20 if I'm having my A plus day. But the goal I'll establish is my A goal, which is sub 21, I think. And yeah, it's been kind of fun going through this new course and trying to like map out all the different nuances and what I think I prefer and what I need to have at certain locations. It's like the game planning before the race or before the big game. I grew up playing a lot of like team sports, some solo sports, but a lot of team sports where it's a lot of game planning up front and like cross matching and analyzing other people's skills and trying to pick on their weaknesses. For me right now, I'm trying to pick on the weakness, whatever the mountains have. And that's been a kind of fun experience, going through and seeing what actually I think is possible for me and what will work, and what, not exit strategies, but what pivots I can make later on in the race, like adding poles or taking poles out or adding caffeine at certain locations. So yeah, I'm getting excited for this. This is my kind of breakdown, I guess, of my goals for the race and a little bit of strategy that I'm going to implement on race day. So day 56, 5 days away, a couple really good night sleeps, and then just whatever I can get on Thursday night, on Friday night. And then we're off and running at 4 a.m. local time here in Colorado for 5 more days. We'll see you guys tomorrow.